One of the things, like I said, that people probably don't know is that you're an avid sports fan.
Very much so.
And we were off off the air. We were talking a little bit about the 71 Pirates,
Right.
and the 71 Pirates and the 79 Pirates, but also that you went to Condors games.
Yes, went to Pittsburgh Condors ABA games, John Brister, and, had posters of Dr. J and George the Iceman Gervin on my walls as a kid growing up, along with Farrah Fawcett. And, but yeah, born in 64, so I was old enough in 71, 6, 7 years old, and those were mostly day games. There was one, I think at least one night game. It was the first night game in the World Series in the 71 series against the Orioles. And I would rush home after school to watch the day games of the World Series. And I was just, I'm just obsessed with the Pirates. I mean, I was talking to you about, I could name the entire starting lineup. And just, fell in love with my heroes were obviously Roberto Clemente and Willie Stargell. And then, you obviously had Manny Sanguillen and Bob Robertson and Richie Hebner and Dave Cash and Ramon Hernandez and Al Oliver and Bob Moose and Steve Blass. And I could just go on and on. I just was a huge, huge sports fan. We would take a plain white T-shirt and a black magic marker and try to make my own Pirates jersey with, just a plain white T-shirt. And then as a teenager in 70, then the Steelers got really good. Remember the Immaculate Reception, what was that, 74? They didn't go to the Super Bowl that year, but then obviously they won 4 Super Bowls in the 70s. I was a teenager and sports obsessed with the Steelers. And, you could go on the Sears catalog and order your Franco Harris Steeler jersey, so you could play in the backyard and wear your Steeler jersey and pretend you're Franco Harris or Lynn Swann or whoever. And then, the 79 Pirates too, just loved it. And Mom and Dad used to take me to Three Rivers Stadium. We used to go see Pirate games all the time. My uncle would take me to Steeler games from time to time. Got to see, saw O.J. Simpson play and just really just loved it. And again, like you mentioned, Pittsburgh Condors, and then the Penguins. They started getting good, and have a very fond memory of being in Doc's place in Shadyside, drinking out of the Stanley Cup one night, and it was 1992.
Really?
Yeah, Steige came in. Paul Steigerwald came in with the Stanley Cup, and Doc Mendelson started pouring beer into it, and we just passed it around. That was a.
That's pretty cool.
That's a good memory.
Yeah. So what's cool is if you think about your younger years, so to speak, even 92, you were still 25 or something, maybe.
Right.
Or
well, in my 20s, yeah.
You know what I mean? Think about how much success the teams here you got to witness.
Absolutely.
And you just rattled off how many names in the Pirates. I always say this, it's funny, baseball economics have changed, but if you think about the 70s, the teams that dominated baseball, the Pirates, the Reds, the A's,
right,
and Baltimore.
And the Orioles, right.
I mean, the Yankees are also, obviously, they've always been.
Yep.
But those 4 teams really, which are, teams that went through a lot of rough years. Were you excited in 2013? Did that get you going when the Pirates in 2013, the Johnny Cueto game?
Yeah.
Did you watch that?
Oh,
the
absolutely.
Bucktober game?
Yeah, for sure. And even the early 90s, Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonilla, that run there, and this whole the Sid Bream slide, and but yes, the 2013, I was all in. And so, and so it still is today. I'm still an avid fan. I'm constantly checking my app that I follow the Pirates on if I can't watch the game on TV. And I love the pitching staff is just, Skeens is lights out. He's pitching tonight, I believe, right? And of course, Jared Jones and, Bailey Falter, who saw that coming, out of spring training. Nobody was, he's done really well. And Perez, that last start was impressive. Yeah. So, man, if he starts pitching well,
they're not that far, right?
No, they're really not. They need some bats.
Right.